Hello, how are you? Somebody had asked me to do a ramble video, so I am going to be doing that today. I have to admit that I don't quite know what to talk about because I am definitely not one who talks very much. I am the baby in the family, and anyone who is a baby of the family probably knows what I am talking about. I also was thinking I would maybe try a bit of visual ASMR. I haven't done that before, so let's see how it goes. I always really like when people grab the stress and anxiety and any negative feelings and just kind of grab them and put them out into space. I've always thought that was really relaxing. So I'm just going to get some of that negative energy. It was raining and thundering and lightning yesterday, or last night, and I thought it was really nice to fall asleep to. We live on the bottom floor, so we didn't get any rain on the roof, which is my favorite, but we had some raindrops from the wind blowing, and it was just tapping on our window. I grew up in New England, and all of my wonderful summers there with my best friend who lived across the street. Some nights, or a lot of nights in the summer, we would get crazy thunder and lightning storms, and we would just sit in her living room on the couch after a long day of running around outside and just watch the lightning and listen to the thunder. But if I wasn't spending the night that night, then I would have to run across the street in the rain, which I don't mind. I love running in the rain. I think it's very cozy. My parents have woods behind their house, and I always was so scared to run across the street at night. And I must admit that even sometimes today, when me and my friend are visiting our homes and I go over to say hi to her and her parents, and if it's late at night, or if we were just out and she dropped me off, I still get pretty scared of the woods behind my parents' house when it's dark. Even though I do really enjoy the woods and hiking in the woods, I'm still a bit of a scaredy cat. I went on a night hike with my parents this past summer, and it was my first night hike, and my mom loves to hike at night, or just hike in general, and I was pretty afraid. Definitely heard a large animal in the woods, but it didn't show itself, unfortunately. I did see a lot of toads though, and toads are so cute, but they do freak me out a little bit. Growing up where I did, you would think that I love all kinds of nature and being out in the woods, but frogs really freak me out. I love to look at them because they're so cute, but I don't like when they get close, and I'm very afraid of insects. Growing up in New England, though, I grew up fishing a lot with my dad, and I was able to do that this past summer with him as well. And we use lures instead of worms because we don't want to harm the worms, and we always put back the fish. But back when I was younger, I would never touch the worms or the fish. My dad would do it all, and I would just cast my rod and reel in the fish if I caught one. We only were able to fish for about 20 minutes this past summer because of other things we had to do. And we didn't catch any fish, but it was one of the highlights of that trip, and I was just on cloud nine for the rest of the day because I just really love fishing, and fishing with my dad is very special and nostalgic. Growing up, when my siblings went to boarding school, it was just me and my parents for a while. So they really are some of my best friends. And my dad and I, whenever we go fishing, we go to this same river and this same spot on the river and to this same dock on the river, and we just stand on the dock and fish. My parents want to get a canoe, but I am sort of afraid of open bodies of water, I don't know how to swim actually, so I much prefer my little dock spot. It is getting colder where I am at, but I am moving back to my home state in about 2 weeks, and it gets very cold there. So I'm not quite sure how my body will handle that, but I will just have to dress warm. One of the many perks of living there and growing up there was how magical the Christmas is. And I have celebrated Christmas my entire life, and growing up having a white Christmas is just so magical. I lived in California for about 4 years, and I was only able to visit my home state once in those 4 years. And as much as I do love California, and during the summer there is a very magical vibe there. Winters are definitely not the same, so I'm very excited to experience a cold winter with my friends and family again. This Thanksgiving, I tried maple and pecan pie for the first time. I'd always wanted to try it, and it's delicious. I always take a bigger piece than I should, though. I've never had pumpkin pie before, but my dad makes it every year for Thanksgiving and Christmas, and I'm going to try it this year. I always said that I didn't like it, even though I had never tried it before. I'm very lucky to have grown up where I did, because the neighborhood that I grew up in was safe, and we had lots of people that we knew, and my best friend her parents live across the street now, and her grandparents live right next door to that. So every summer we would spend all day outside running and playing and just doing things together. And in the fall, it was the most magical, cozy fall energy, and we had hay rides and corn mazes and fun stuff like that. And every year, me and my siblings would carve pumpkins, and my dad would help us carve the pumpkins, and my mom would roast pumpkin seeds, and my dad would sew our Halloween costumes. And when my siblings moved out, my dad would go trick-or-treating with me around the neighborhood. And then, like I said, in the winter time, you would just get the most magical Christmas energy. And even though it was snowing and cold, there was just something so special about that time. Growing up, winter used to be my favorite season. I'm definitely one who loves the rain and gray skies, although I do love the sun as well. I'm looking forward to being back somewhere where you get 4 seasons instead of just very hot and then a little cooler. it's definitely the little things in life that matter the most. All those little memories you have of things that were special and just had a huge impact on your life growing up. I think that those are definitely the most important and just something that you should cherish. I'm not quite sure what else to say. I'm definitely someone who's more of an observer than a talker. But I think that this is a nice little intimate setting and feels nice and personal. And with all of that being said, I think it is time for me to go. So I hope you have a wonderful day or night, and I will see you soon.